1, 2, 3, 4. Palapalooza, Palapalooza. We're talking to you. I'm Palapalooza.
Doing the podcast live with Darren Sader, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome.
What up, doggy?
And dude, it's so good to see you, bro. It's
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, I'm glad we were finally able to pull this off.
This is amazing. We've been talking about this for a while. Where are we exactly? So, west of us is the Sun and SeaWorld, correct?
Correct. And behind you is Fiesta Island.
East of us is Fiesta.
Yeah, that's where everyone you can see. Obviously, we don't have the cameras pointed that way, but we got people walking their dogs on the shore. And we are out here floating in Mission Bay. It's a beautiful winter San Diego day. It's probably 75 degrees, bluebird skies.
It's not a cloud in sight, dude.
No,
January here in San Diego. It's amazing.
Spoiled rotten. I'm glad we came out here and did a little change up for Palapalooza. It's awesome.
So good to see you, buddy.
Likewise, man.
Welcome. We've been chatting a little bit. I haven't seen you during COVID. It's been, God, when was the last time we chatted?
Probably
last time I saw you,
gym.
bro, was your... No, last time I saw you, I think, was the Ruffs show at the Moreau.
God, we didn't do the gym or anything after that.
Did we?
God, we're really horrible people.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
well,
I guess so.
Our last show was Drew's birthday show at the Ken Club.
Right.
And I can't recall if you were there or not because I can't recall many things in my life.
Can't recall anything. Dude, what? Before we get into music and all this, obviously a music-based podcast,
sure.
Local music-based podcast. But what is this vessel we're on here, dude? We're on your amazing boat.
We're
here
on the
again
boat
in Mission Bay.
Yes, the weather was undeniable, and we thought it was going to be a good idea to come out here, and so far so good. But
we're here with Lyric, my 7-year-old.
Hi, Lyric. Say hi.
Hi.
She's feeding the birds, and the seagulls are shitting all over us out here, and it's totally cool.
They're all over us. But
what is this guy behind us? You won't be able to see it on the camera, or maybe we will. Little pelican, right?
He's like a pelican, yeah. He's probably a teenager.
He's got about a foot-long beak.
Yeah, he looks like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, he does.
Cue the Jurassic Park theme.
Dun, 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 dun. So what is this new endeavor you have? Not a new endeavor, but you bought a boat.
Yeah,
Congrats,
I did.
Dude.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Honestly,
thank you so much.
Amazing.
Man. Yeah, thank you so much. I've always been into fishing. I've had boats before, but this one's definitely been a jump up from other ones that I've had.
Thanks, player.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It does a lot. It's got a very fishy platform, but as you can see, it's super chill. Like you can come out here with the family. You don't even got to throw a line in the water, and it's pretty awesome. It's made by a company called SeaFox. It's a SeaFox Viper 220.
Yeah.
And it's a 22-foot hull. It's got a 200
Is this 22
horse.
feet? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. It's got a 200 horse Yamaha outboard. And then I have a Minn Kota. It's called a Tarova. It's like a GPS trolling motor. I don't know if the camera can grab it or not, but it kind of like holds us in place. And it's got all the cool bells and whistles for sure.
The GPS motor for like layman, what is that exactly?
So, well, you have what's called a trolling motor.
Right.
And it's kind of like this tiny electric motor on the front of the boat. And what that does is when you pull up to a fishing spot with your big motor, once you kind of find the area you want to fish, you then drop the trolling motor into the water, and then that lets you kind of navigate quietly and slowly around. So what the GPS does is on the new trolling motors is that you can pull up to, say, a rock pile or like where we're at right now. We kind of found like a nice spot. You can drop the troller in the water and activate what they call spot lock. And what that does is it's got the GPS. So now if the wind, you can see the wind's kind of pushing down this area here, the boat is naturally going to want to go with it, but it will always bring you back to the spot where you hit the spot lock. So it's essentially an anchor is what it is. It's a virtual anchor without having to anchor.
It's chill.
It's really cool. Yeah.
I'm having a good time. I mean, my Palapa's cool, dude, but this is like unreal.
Oh, unreal.
I mean, 360 water, obviously. We're on a boat. Hey, shut the fuck up, Troy.
I cannot recommend like getting into boating more. I mean, you don't need this boat either. I mean, you can just get a boat. I mean, my boat before this was like a 17-foot aluminum with a 50 horse. It was like an 83. It looked like it came from a salvage yard.
Right,
and
I saw that.
And I loved it. And
Whatever gets you on the water, right?
Dude,
like we were talking.
That's
I've born and raised San Diego. I've never had a boat. I always come out here and I'm like, dude, I want to get something. A jet ski, a boat. You know, I was looking at Bayliners there, I think, for a little bit. But this
that'd be a great boat for you guys.
A little starter, right?
Yeah. Oh, God. Open
dinghy?
bow and
Maybe I'll pick up a dinghy.
A dinghy.
A dinghy.
We know what's on your mind. We'll get you a dickie. Cut. We'll be back in a minute.
We're not cutting any of this, bro.
Oh, God.
Video editing's way too tricky. So no, we're keeping all this in. There's no editing. Maybe for the audio we will, but if you're listening to this on Spotify or a streaming platform, you have to check it out on YouTube because we do have a couple GoPros. We got this guy. Hi.
Hola.
And we got this guy. Hi.
Hola again.
So check it out on YouTube, Palapalooza Unplugged. We're not jamming today, but we are catching up with Darren Sader. You are a drummer here in San Diego.
I am.
Or you were, and we'll get to that. But
we'll
definitely get to that.
Totally. No, I'm stoked
and
to
you're
talk
a good
about
friend.
it, man.
We got to say that you, let's see, we met, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back to your history of music here in San Diego. But you were in my wedding.
Absolutely. We've been great friends for a long time, and for a lot of listeners, they might know you as Troy, the host of the podcast, but we've been like brothers for what I feel like is just many years now, and we've been through this roller coaster of life, and it's super cool to see you grow. And even I remember when the podcast was just an idea and we were bullshitting about it, and then it's like, I mean, what episode is this? Like,
I want to say it's 137,
dude, that's,
or something like that.
That's mind-blowing.
Cool. It's been fun.
To think of a concept and you actually executed and then held on to that. A lot of people don't do that.
You're a big supporter.
Yeah.
I love it.
Bro,
You've always been kind of there for the podcast and me as a musician, and you're always kind of, you're a genuine dude.
Thanks,
but
brother.
we go back, you know. You were a little Freddy. I want to say that, you know.
I was.
I had a Halloween themed wedding, and you had the Freddy Krueger
and I had a
sweater,
mohawk,
and you had the hawk,
and I had some eyeliner.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, and I was flattered by this.
You had some eyeliner.
They thought I was the guy from System of a Down, which was like, I mean, I kind of felt like I made it right there in like my musical career, and it had nothing even to do with music. But I was like, I remember I seen on a Facebook post, someone's all, "Is that the guy from System of a Down?" And I responded, yes. And I just, I felt so good about that. But nah, man, it was an honor to be in your wedding and be a part of that and watch you and Tiffany, you know, further your relationship. It was beautiful. It was.
My point being, yeah, we've known each other for a while. God, we're all grown up.
We are. Beards are longer, hair is grayer.
Beard is very COVIDy.
Wrinkles are more defined.
We are, though, dude. It's like wild. Time goes by slowly, but I turned 40 a few months ago. I don't think you're 40 yet, right?
I just turned 37 last June.
Okay, so I got a few years on you.
Getting there,
but still, like, we'll segue into music. Bankers Hill, I want to say, I was in my late 20s. I want to say 29.
Yeah, so...
Well, let's see. I got married in
2011.
I left that band right before I left. I quit. You guys didn't fire me.
Yeah, you absolutely were like, I'm out. Sign the paperwork.
So I would have been. No, I guess I would have been like 30. You know, so about a decade.
Crazy that
it's
been that long, because it feels like it's been like 6 months. But
and shout out Sean Drake, who plays bass for Ready Set Survive now.
I love Sean, man.
And yeah, amazing guy.
Guy just puts off like positive vibes. He always has good things to say, and I miss seeing him. You know, obviously the world's like the way it is, and he's a phenomenal bass player.
He's really good.
I mean, phenomenal bass player.
We've done some cool stuff. It's cool that you two have stuck around, because I look at my wedding photos, and not to throw out names, but friends come and go, dude.
Oh, it's just the way it goes. It's not always a bad thing, but things do change, and you know, life is full of different roads and avenues, and some people go down certain ones, and it is what it is. Luckily for us, we picked a lot of the same ones, so we're still here together, man.
And we're still in the music scene. You know, we'll get into that a little bit more.
For sure.
But yeah, just to get sentimental and deep here, it's cool. You mentioned you're stoked to see everything I'm doing, and I'm really proud of what you're doing and everything you've been doing. And we could get into specifics about certain memories in the past and things we've done late at night.
Bring it. I'm a Modelo and a half in.
I mean, so dude, I know.
Just don't get me crying now.
You're getting a Dewey on this bitch.
You're driving home.
We had a practice studio right next to Color Bomb Studios there, Broadway, Color Bomb Tattoo.
Right.
Yep. So shenanigans, 100%.
Constant.
You know, everything you could think of.
Dude, it was...
And we've, you know, like Andy Dufresne, right? You go through a tunnel of shit and you come out clean on the other side.
But,
yeah. Kind of like that.
Dude,
I mean, I don't think we've had too much of a rough road.
No, dude.
We've stayed on the straight and narrow for the most part, but...
Life is not a fairy tale. I mean, if it was, it'd be boring. You know, you need a little bit of turbulence, and you need a little bit of ins and outs in life to make it interesting.
Let's use a lot of boating analogies.
I'm all, you need the
You need the swell. And
you need the swell to be choppy.
We need to quote mainsail songs throughout this whole episode, dude.
Blue skies out here.
Blue skies on Rocky's head.
Can we get some photographs, potentially?
I've got to say, Sader's got the local music selection here on board. Do you have a name for this boat?
They say it's bad luck to not have a name for a boat. And the guy that sold it when I bought it, I did buy it used, but it was very close to new, but it was used. He didn't have a name for it either. But I think the other night I was thinking about stuff, and I talked about this before, but my niece, her name's Kylie, and her middle name is Marie. And for some reason, the Kylie Marie just rolls right off the tongue, and I think it would look super pretty on the back and some cool cursive, real small, just kind of in the corner. But I kind of like the Kylie Marie, so that might stick. We'll have to see. Yeah.
I was thinking Rio de Sader.
Sorry, Kylie. Uncle Troy just kicked you completely out of the box there.
Isn't Rio something? Her name is Rio. That was a Duran Duran song, right? Her name is Rio.
What's the translation
and that's a
for Rio?
reference to a boat. That was the boat's name in that song. Anyways,
We could try that.
I love that. Kylie Marie.
The Kylie Marie,
Kylie Marie, okay.
So a lot of the time when you're out offshore, right now we're in the bay, but when you go out offshore 30, 40 miles, you have what's called a VHF radio where you can, that's why there's a tall antenna here, and you can beep the other boats, and that's how you identify yourself. I can say, hey, this is, the Kylie Marie, and if people know the boat, they'll say, hey, I'm on the Thunderbird, or I'm on the whatever, So that's how you kind of ID yourself. And I have a lot of fishing buddies. That's what's funny is just like the music scene, I have that same kind of network of people in my fishing community, in the fishing community with me. I have a lot of buddies that have boats. I got to shout out my buddy. Yeah, I want to shout out a couple people. I definitely want to shout out Matt Moyer. And a lot of people probably have Matt on their friends list and probably don't even know it, but he is he's a tournament bass fisherman, but his main sponsor is Ballast Point. So his boat, it's actually the reason I have this boat, because he has the exact same one, and he took me to San Clemente Island a couple years ago on his, and I was instantly sold. But you'll know Matt when you see him on the water, because the entire side of the boat is wrapped in Ballast Point, and he's the executive chef at the La Jolla Country Club. He's the nicest guy in the world. And he really helped me with my purchase on this as far as information and what I should be looking for. So, Matt, I love you to death.
Shout out, Matt.
Yeah, he's a good
Ballast
dude.
Point, that's a good hookup.
Yeah, no,
he must have some connections, huh?
Yeah, I think he's just been with Ballast Point just for years. I mean, Matt was repping them before they were even like what they are now. Great dude. But yeah.
Lyric is on is that the stern? My boating terminology
the back
is
left. I'm
the
very
back
I'm very appropriate.
I love that about you.
Worst boat owner on the planet. I'm on the back left wing of
I
the
was
boat.
like, is the left starboard?
No.
Starboard, Darren? It is, right? Or is it starburst? I think that's a candy.
We'll have to Google it.
But Lyric's in the back of the boat throwing some bread out to pelicans. Seagulls.
No, those
are going to shit all over us.
There is a pelican floating around. We got a couple jet skiers
some jet
going
skiers. We're chilling here. But the point I was going to make is your local music selection is good. I've heard Infinite Signal, who we could probably talk about there for a little bit.
For sure.
I heard the Montel Jordans. We were talking them up. We're both huge fans of the Montel Jordans. And then Hard to Hit, you were rocking there for a little bit. And we were talking about Peter Duff and how amazing he is.
I have always felt like there is so much underrated talent in this town. I mean, they definitely got a lot of recognition with us. And the community, pre-COVID.
Right.
But
Is this thing going to be all right?
Yeah. No, you're good.
Okay.
That was the worst of it right there.
We've got a couple GoPros, so I'm a little sketched. But
okay.
But yeah, the scene. Yeah.
But there's just such good bands in this town where sometimes I think I try to take myself out of the realm of oh, I know these people, and I just listen to the music, and I'm just blown away. I mean, the new Montel Jordan's record is fucking stupid good.
So good.
Where I'm just things like that. But it kind of shows you how tough the music industry is, because you're dude, if my boys can sound that polished and sound that produced and that put together, and they haven't even scraped the surface yet of what you would consider the music industry, it's humbling and it's intimidating, but it's exciting, I mean, I show a lot of friends and family, of course, the Rough and other my friends' bands all the time, and they're always like, dude, you know these guys, or this is you, and it's just awesome. I have very talented friends for sure.
Absolutely,
I definitely do.
I couldn't agree more. And the Rough, I got to shout out the Rough,
man.
our Avenue Army. It's you listen to them, and it's Isn't that a likely story with local musicians? Like I would imagine
It's
there's
crazy.
little San Diego's the shit. We got to talk it up. I mean, that's our city,
Absolutely.
but there's probably little pockets all over the country, dude, that just have amazing talent.
100%.
And, you know, I was kind of making this analogy the other day to like actors. It's kind of a similar industry.
Right.
Like there's probably amazing actors out there that just haven't hit it, dude.
And they might not ever hit it.
Right.
That's the saddest part. That's the saddest part with the music thing too. You're like,
you gotta
dude,
just keep pushing, huh? Or
feel
just
like a lot
quit
of
like
it's
you
like-
did.
I almost made it and out. No, I feel like we'll get there. No,
We'll
I
get to
feel
present
like,
time.
I feel like a lot of I don't know, man. Who knows how to crack the code? Because if you did, wouldn't you have already? You know, it's
Right.
just
It's a
just-
combination. I want to make sure my 7-year-old isn't
okay.
flying overboard,
She-
but
no, she-
a combination of a lot of things, dude, right? I mean, talent, obviously, luck.
You gotta have the talent.
connections,
You gotta have
you
the
know?
look. That
Yeah.
timing. You just have to have the right timing with where you're playing and when. Dude, like the tour time, being on the road, making yourself present just on the internet. I mean, the internet is the new platform, obviously, so you have to be a part of that, right? Like you can't, like back in the day, it was just like, oh, who are these guys touring with, and paper flyers and stuff like that. But now it's like actual. You got to see, like, okay, when I follow the Ready Set Survive hashtag, like, okay, am I seeing 20 pictures or am I seeing 20,000 pictures? You know, and then now dig it. Now, what are these pictures? You know, these people are going to start looking into that, and so it's a tough nut to crack,
Saturated,
dude.
right?
It's
like
very
kind
saturated.
of oversaturated. Like everyone's got a platform and everyone
Right.
has a chance, and there's pros and cons with that. But
Totally.
we're no music managers, or we don't know.
Not at all. I don't know.
I didn't make it, 20 years, and I'm still dabbling around. But it's, I don't have that dream much anymore.
Well, and I mean, kind of like define make it too,
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
I guess in a sense, I'm DJing and making a living doing
Yeah.
that with music. So yeah, I'm no complaints.
Not to fast forward and jump a bunch of cool information, but like even with like my departure from the rough, like I can look myself in the mirror and I can go, I made new best friends. I made the best memories of my life. I went on the road. I recorded a record that will be stamped in time
a
forever.
fucking killer EP,
Dude, mission accomplished. I
Amazing.
feel like to an extent mission accomplished, and in my mind, I kind of did make it in my mind. I did what I felt like I kind of wanted,
I kind of felt that, like all the checks, all the boxes have
Yeah,
been
I
checked,
felt
and
really
it's like
good.
kind of a good time to drop the mic in
Yeah.
a sense. Even with Infinite Signal, we brought them up.
Totally.
They got shared by Blink 182, went
Unreal.
viral, millions of unreal.
Yeah.
A million. They really sort of peaked. They had their
Right.
amazing show. I think even they have admitted it was their best show to date.
Dude, and what
Rad
a
show. Me and you were front
powerhouse.
row, just rocking
Bro,
out. Amazing,
unreal.
right? Like kind of sad to look back on, really.
Happy,
Like
sad.
memories are, the
Happy,
past
sad.
can be that way.
Yeah.
You look back and it's like, God damn, I wish I was there. Like her being a parent, her as a baby.
Right.
You look back,
Right.
You want to capture those moments, but yeah.
Yeah, the Infinite Signal show sticks out in my mind. Obviously, the Rough Release show was. There was so many. Even like, we went on the road with Fishing for Chips, and those guys. Shout out to my boys. It's such a love-hate with those guys. I mean,
We love you and fuck off.
the
Mitch, Larry, Chris, Daniel. Amazing.
I honestly love
Amazing
the guys
dudes.
so much. Yeah, and it's the when I say love hate, the love is real and the hate is very very cosmetic. It's like it's kind of like that Big Brother thing where you're like, I get to tell those guys that I hate their face, but if you say it, then we'll have a problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Totally.
I love them. Like they're like that. And Larry and Mitch, we've actually been in touch almost more now with the current state of the world. Just messaging and shit.
Do you
but
have a Facebook Messenger group?
It's
We had one for a while because I wanted to get them on the podcast.
bro.
but yeah.
It's absolutely brutal, and I don't even want to. It's their jokes are very unfiltered. They don't care, which is why I love them. But like I said, they're just full of love, and they're good people, man, for sure. They're great people, but.
Yeah, a lot
that
of
was a highlight
family
for me.
here. I know you guys are close, a lot closer than even us, but they're good dudes, and a big family here. 2020 kind of fucked things up a little bit. We could touch on COVID,
Man.
and I mean, you were sort of unaffected by that in a lot of ways, right?
So I don't know if a lot of people know, but for work I own a metal fabrication business with a buddy.
Yeah. What's that website?
So it's pmracks.com. and we actually specialize in these. They're like these luggage rack systems for dual sport motorcycles. And dual sports are essentially, they look like dirt bikes, but they're plated. They're street legal dirt bikes is pretty much what they are for the most part. So these guys like to, drive cross country and do whatever, and they need luggage when they go with them. So we create these luggage rack systems for the bikes, and we have like 30 or 40 SKUs. We cover like a pretty broad amount of like all the Kawasaki's. They call them the big four, like Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda, yada yada yada. And I do that with a friend, Lee. I've known him since pretty much out of high school. So I've been doing that, and luckily it's not a brick and mortar front. So we do all of our sales online, and things have been okay. We've been able to at least sustain ourselves through the bullshit that has been 2020. I feel incredibly fortunate in that regard. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of labor for sure. Like in my older age, I thought I'd maybe peel away from that. It's a lot of welding and a lot of grinding and bending steel and shit.
You need to hire some kids. No? Eventually?
We'll see. I'm trying to get my nephew in there. I just got to get him not afraid
Kylie?
of... Yeah. Dude, she might be that. Yeah, Gavin and Kylie. Yeah, I'd love to get them at some point. They're still a little young, but... Yeah, but I've been fortunate enough. Like
you've done well. And a great industry for 2020. I mean, the best, I would say, online sales.
It definitely...
right?
I wouldn't say that it was unfazed, but it held its own. It did, especially when you're seeing like restaurants and like, home, like these people that have had like I saw something in La Mesa about this like pizza restaurant that was like third generation passed down, and like they were literally crying on KUSI about how it was going to be not only closed, but that was it, like nail in the coffin. And I'm going like, dude, that's like they've passed that thing down for like how long, and now because of this pandemic, it's just kills
and bringing
me,
it back to music,
right
the venues, some obviously venues, bars, Bar Pink, I believe, shut down.
Dude, the venues took a huge
Blonde,
hit.
I think, is going through something. You know what I heard the other day is Winston's.
I saw that too.
Down. Did they shut down?
I saw that they were like shutting down, and I saw that they put out like a post about. I don't know how permanent that post was. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was.
I hate to spread false information, but Winston, everyone's hurting, dude.
Dude, everyone is.
I'm a DJ.
Yeah,
I've been completely unaffected. No.
I should pay you for this. Just like write it off, dude. It's worth it, And and what's funny is I'll shout him out because he's humble and he probably won't shout himself out. But just Google TNT DJ.
TNT Mobile DJ, yeah. .com.
And
TNT Entertainment.
The Yelp reviews speak for themselves.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, if you know Troy, he's social. He's like a game show host. I mean, it's
Troy Cook here.
It's in your blood, man, and you're great at it. And your reviews speak for themselves. People are ruthless, bro. And if they have the opportunity to talk shit on a review, they will. So
I know all about reviews, bro.
And I know you do.
Let's not get into that.
Next episode.
Next episode. So,
but yeah.
So yeah, you've done well. We're here on your boat. I mean, so obviously you're staying afloat, and I have too. I'm not gonna. Hey, I'm not gonna complain. I don't know.
You have a beautiful family. You have a beautiful home.
It's really changed your perspective a little bit on certain things, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
We've said that before.
Yeah, you
appreciation,
realize, dude, you're very vulnerable, and who would have thought? I mean, who would have thought? This is crazy. Like, the more you think about it, I hate to even accept the fact that this is the new normal and we just have accepted it now, which I kind of feel like we kind of have to. But it's just, like, remember Life? Remember that cool Life thing
Cold
before
Clock,
this? Like,
from
dude, unreal.
Yeah. Unreal.
It really is. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, such is life, though, huh? You worry about certain things, and then, boom, something comes out of left field that you didn't have your attention on.
And then the big issues before you thought actually aren't even shit.
It changes your perspective.
Crazy.
That is so much how life is. Like, not to get too deep and philosophical, I don't know everything, but from my experience, it's like the things that you have your attention on and you're worrying about, your attention is on them.
Totally.
Nothing's going to happen with that.
Right.
You're worrying about it. You see it. It's those fists that come from nowhere.
Right.
Like the COVID or like, whatever it may be that really kind of jack you up a little bit.
No, that's very true. And I feel like a lot of issues in life, a lot of the time, those are issues that you can kind of strategically try to make better yourself.
Huh? My stuff are gone.
Your stuff is gone? What's gone? Sorry, I got my daughter here, so we're doing daddy duty as well. What's gone?
Stuff that I brought.
Oh, your bag? Did it fly overboard?
No, it's on here somewhere.
No,
What
look
is
around.
it?
A bag of like food and
Troy, didn't you put
and
stuff in
snacks and
didn't
everything.
You put stuff in
Look
the center
around, yeah,
console or
lift
no?
things up. This is going to be unedited on YouTube, so I'll edit this for the audio podcast. But my 7-year-old's here too, so we're kind of doing uncle and daddy duties.
A little bit of side work, but we're
But
good.
anyways, yeah, let's get into music.
For sure.
You know, you started out with Bankers Hill
I did, yeah. I started drumming in like 7th grade.
with Scott Holst,
7th grade.
skinny fat.
Yeah.
you know, bringing it back.
Dude, shout out my buddy Scott. He's like a brother to me. He recently just moved out of town, but I hold his friendship very
Where's
close
he
to
at
my
now?
heart. He's in Idaho. He went
No
out,
shit.
Yeah, he went out
Okay,
there.
I could totally see that with Scott.
He's just he loves his outdoors. He was the master brewer for Alpine Brewery for a few years, I think at least.
It's like shut down or something, right?
They kind of
Yeah.
went through some ownership issues.
Ballast Point issues or something. right?
Not with Ballast Point
all good.
directly, but
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Sure.
But anyway, he ended up going out there with his wife and his daughters, and he's got a new brewery position, and he's doing great.
Cool,
He's
cool.
yeah.
Good to hear.
So Scotty and I've been playing drums since 7th grade.
Yeah, dude.
Scotty was actually a friend of my brother's, and he came over one day and was like,
wow.
"Holy shit! Like your little
Yeah.
brother is a drummer, or whatever." And we had connected, and yeah, so we had a couple small projects prior before Bankers Hill, but once we got into that was like my first, I would say, actual band where I played shows, and it was very reminiscent of Pennywise style punk rock, faster, more aggressive. Straightforward skate 90s fat record style, I guess you could say, close to that Epitaph style, whatever. Yeah, so I did that for God, I don't even know how many years, but I felt
At least
like
a few. That's where we met, 2010-ish. For about a year, I played with you guys.
I
We did
remember, yeah.
a lot of fun local stuff. I think we played with Authority Zero at 710.
We did
which
open
was
for
cool.
them,
It was like
yeah.
a battle of the bands. We
I
went
think
up to
we had-
Vegas, dude,
yeah.
for the Double Deuce.
We played the double down.
Double down,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we played. No, that was great. And I got to be honest with you, when I was done with Bankers, I kind of felt like I was maybe done at that point, as far as like being like active, like in scheduling practices and actually booking shows and chasing the dream, if you will. And during that time, we had connected with another local band. I'm sure you guys have heard of them, Skipjack. They're fucking awesome. They're super in your face, fast, energetic.
Shout out Chad Ruiz,
I've known-
right? Legend.
I've known
Jason
Chad,
Williams.
all those guys. Yeah, I've known Chad for
yeah.
Travis Gorney. He's not with them anymore. but
Travis,
he's a great
yeah,
dude.
he's doing well. Business dude, right?
Travis is kicking ass,
Yep.
taking names for sure. He's doing well. And I drummed for Skipjack. I think it was maybe 6 or 7 months. It wasn't very long. They were kind of going through a transitional period, and it just seemed super natural. Bankers and Skipjack were sharing a rehearsal spot, and their drummer, for whatever reason, wasn't with them anymore. And Chad was like, "Dude, what do you think?" And I had kind of known their songs from just hanging at practices and drinking beers. And Chad started. We started writing music together, like even just like little riffs and stuff like that. And I think I recorded one song with them. It's called "The Grand Collapse," and I'll have maybe we'll have to see if Chad
I'll
can
include
get
that
one.
somewhere. Yeah, I'll try to dig it up.
It's a super cool song, but yeah. And so then after that, I think after I left Skipjack, then I went back to Bankers for a bit, and then after Bankers, I just kind of took it easy. And to be honest, I can't recall how long I took off, but it was quite a while. I was pretty much out of music in my mind. I still had my drum kit. But I kind of checked out. I
See how
kind
that
of
can
checked
happen.
out.
Oh, that's a common story with musicians. They sort of,
I
they
kind
have
of
their
checked
ups and downs.
out.
They're
Yeah,
swells.
totally. And I felt like, and maybe it was because I checked out, but looking back, I kind of felt like the music scene was kind of a little bit quieter at that time, so it kind of felt easy to check out. And I was just focusing on my own life. I had turmoil in my life that we don't need to get into right now, but just
Let's
like
hear all the details.
and that'll be next
Heyo.
episode. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
and then
So
dude,
okay, yeah. So you took some time off the
Took a-
Bankers, and then
and in
let's
my
talk
mi-
about your. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're okay. In my mind, I was pretty much done, and then it was actually. What's funny is we're doing this on a Thursday, and it was a Thursday night. I feel like it was in February of maybe 2017. I think Drew has always been the brains of the band, so maybe ask him. But
He's a smarty.
yeah. But I remember I had a super rough day at work. I didn't even go home. I literally was in my work clothes, and I drove straight to Till 2. And I was like, you know what? God, what were they called? Kevin Schaefer, Jake Roth. They had they're called
No Skill.
No Skill Required. So they were playing that night. So I'm like, dude, you know what? Classic scenario. Going to go drink my sorrows away, watch my buddy's punk band, and call it a night. So I walk in. I'm sitting down. I have a Jack and Coke. I'm hanging out. Talk to Kevin. Talk to Jake. And this dude walks in with his backpack, and he's got an acoustic, and walks by me, whatever. He walks up, and I'm like looking up, and I see this guy, and I'm like, great. So now I got to sit through an acoustic set before I see No Skill play. I'm ready. I'm like ready to like let out some angst, and now I got to like hear this like lovey-dovey bullshit. Well, it turns out it was yours truly, Drew Smith. Yeah. So Drew starts, and he actually opens with a song called "Not You," which is I believe it's the opening song on our first EP. And
right?
Yeah. So Drew opens with that, and I kid you not, to this day, I can't quite recall the moment between me sitting at the bar and actually walking up to the stage, but halfway through that song, I just found myself literally, my knees were up against the stage, and I was just holding my drink kind of at my chest, and I just was looking up at Drew. Practically love at first sight. I mean, the guy's songwriting and the way he performs is just and if you've heard Drew, you already know.
We just had him on.
Yeah.
Drew and Max, Avenue Army and the Rough, obviously.
Totally.
Super talented.
Unbelievable.
Such an asshole.
I fucking hate him. So
I get nervous getting her out of my sight.
No, she's
hey,
good.
Scream if you need me, Lyric.
She's taking a seat on the back.
Yeah,
there.
okay. So cool. You guys met up until 2, acoustic
Watched
night,
him do
Singer of the Rough, yeah.
And I right away, and I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, this guy, he was so talented that I it was almost like when you see like the super like beautiful woman, like you're like, she's got to be married. Like there's just no way, right? and I remember thinking that in my head. I'm like, this guy's either signed or he's with a band and he's doing a one-off night, whatever. Turns out he gets done. I congratulate him on a great set. We cheers. We have a drink. We exchange info, and I'm like, dude, I'm a drummer. I haven't been playing for a while, but I was like, those fucking songs that you were playing tonight, I was like, those need drums behind them. I was like, they need drum. And he was all, dude, no fucking way. So we exchanged info.
And he had not done anything with a band with those songs at the time, because Drew had been around for a while, right?
Drew
like a
has
decade with Save Amos and
Save Amos. He's had
Save Amos,
the binge. He's got other
He'd
bands
been around,
too.
and
Drew
it's funny how you just didn't come across him.
We talk about
either,
it all
obviously.
the time.
Yeah. Okay, so he had a bunch of songs, and
had a bunch of songs.
That was the start of it.
That really kicked it off. Yeah,
I remember you talking about that at the Moreau at our show.
Yeah,
you were all excited.
I'm like, I met this guy.
A little tipsy. I know you heard about it on their episode, but
for sure,
you were super
very
stoked
excited, man.
Yeah.
And he was very cool. He felt very genuine, and he was like just a good dude, like right out of the gate. So we started rehearsing. You know, it was about a 2-week window, and I had hit him up, and I had actually sent him a little GoPro video of me playing to Not You. And he shit a brick. He messaged me back, and he's like, dude, you really are down. I said, bro, I told you, like, I want to play music with you. I want to give it a shot. And
because you never know, right? If a musician says they're down, they'll, you know.
No, and he had said, he's all, dude, I hear this all the time.
It falls through.
How many times do you do the bro arm around the neck thing at the bar and talk about fucking
when you're kind of hammered? Yeah.
Dude, it happens all the time.
Sure.
So we ended up, funny enough, rehearsing at Iacon, which is Sulo King from Authentic Sellout. We ended up, shout out to him, man. He really actually like opened the door for us, because we didn't have a rehearsal spot for like the first 6 months.
Very cool.
And we would go there, and that was the kickoff for the Rough.
We love Sulo. Sulo, we love it when you go live, bro.
Yeah, don't ever not do
go
that.
Go live at the gym more. We like that.
Dude, he's boxing and shit. I'm glad I know him so I can pick a fight with someone and have him handle it.
He was a part of House of Music SD, but then I think he's not now. But yeah, Sulo's, local legend,
he was
right?
Brick by Brick for fucking years.
That's how he kind of started, right? Yeah, booking for Brick. Yeah,
me and Sulo have always been good, dude.
Sulo's a genuine dude.
Yeah,
we got to shout out Sulo. He texted me yesterday, actually. He wants to actually help with Palapalooza in some way, and
dude,
I'm trying to figure out,
it's all about the
trying to
networking.
delegate something, and the guy's got connections. I would love to use him, but
That's
awesome.
Yeah,
so that was the start of the Rough you. The Rough, punk rock band that's still active. You guys are still jamming. Talk about the Rough. You guys went through some rough
Yes,
times,
I
right?
would. I would definitely say so.
Band members and everything.
Yeah, we definitely had some bad member changes. I've said it before, but I feel like if the rough was like a person, I would just want to hold it and caress it and kiss it and tell it I was sorry, because the poor band has been through so much fucking shit as far as band member changes and this and that.
It's not
but-
like you're helping the fucking situation,
Dude.
Darren. Jesus,
I was
bro.
the nail in the coffin,
Yeah.
but
Nah.
no, but on the same note, with that being said, it also made me realize how fortunate we were, because the band member changes were always very quick and seamless, because luckily I have so many fucking talented friends that were just,
Right.
I'm like, dude, I need a bass player. Boom, found
Who
Jules.
played for you? Yeah,
Dude, we
Jules,
had-
Will Lopez.
So we actually started, a lot of people might not know, but Brandon Loonsberry from
Okay.
Fallen Monuments
Shit, we're rocking
and
a little bit, huh?
Dogmatic.
yeah.
He was actually the first one at the first rough practice with Drew and I.
Brandon
And,
Loonsberry
Brandon
up in
was.
Oregon now.
He
Great
was-
guy.
Yeah, and I love him. He's
All the way
always
back
been
to Dogmatic, I want to say.
Dogmatic,
Right? We got to
obviously
shout out Fallen Monuments, of course.
one of my favorite locals.
I know it is, yeah.
Yeah, and he so he was with the first one. He was really busy at the time. He came at me real. He's like, I love the music and everything. I'm just busy. So then Drew's brother Mike was actually in Save Amos with Drew. So that just seemed very natural, and I think Drew just kind of called him and more or less told him he was doing it. He was like, "Hey, bro, we're I found a drummer. We're in a band again." And Mike was like, "Okay." And if you've ever talked to Mike, I mean, the guy you'll be smiling ear to ear.
Totally.
He's fucking
I miss Mike.
dude.
Mike,
he's
if you're listening
so,
to this, shout out, buddy.
He makes
Good
me
guy.
laugh so much, and he doesn't try to make you laugh. He's just one of those genuinely witty,
Yeah.
snappy, sharp. Like, he's just fucking
Like
awesome,
Drew.
dude.
Drew has
same
that too.
deal.
I think the last time I saw Mike was at your Atari show at Space.
Gotcha.
Out front.
Yeah.
Mike's just
Just
there.
Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Troy? What's up, man? He's like, you are a real human right now. He's like, you are a real fucking human. That's probably like word for word what he probably said, but
That was kind of the rough that I got to know pretty well.
that
like
was
from the start,
actual rough.
you know,
that was the
yeah.
beginning. Those were the first songs
you,
that got
Mike,
wrote.
and Drew, and we played a ton of great shows.
Played a
together,
lot of shows
you know,
with that
a
lineup.
handful.
Yeah.
You and us and you and Ready Set Survive.
Yep.
And then you picked up a couple new members,
So
right?
Mike
Yeah.
got busy with his life like we all do. He had a career. He's a family man. He decided to step away respectfully, and there was absolutely no bad blood. Everything was totally kosher. And at that time, we were more or less kind of just like scouting, just like kind of looking out into the music scene, and we were going to bar shows that weren't even really punk rock, and just kind of seeing like if there was another bass player out there. And many people have heard of the Navajo Live. Yeah.
Emily, Chris, right?
Yeah,
Chris
Chris
and
Haney. Yeah, he's the owner. I live right up the street from it, so naturally I'd be there for open mic nights and stuff like that. And one night there was just a little blonde chick in there, and she was just on stage, just absolutely just owning it. And I remember talking to her when she got off, and sure enough, it was Jules Welpton. Everyone knows her from
That blonde
That blonde
bassist, right?
bassist. Yeah,
Hashtag?
she's a great girl and an
Yeah.
amazing musician. And we kind of hit it off. It was like one of those super just natural friendships. And I told her the style, and I didn't think she was really into it as far as her past projects were more like kind of rock, like classic-y rock. But I think maybe that kind of like drew her to it because it was different. And if you know Jules, she's like a working musician. She's like all over the place. So we hit it off, and that was good. We started playing, and we had her for quite a while. What was after that?
It got me thinking what people are thinking of us, you know, riding by, a couple of mics in our hands,
Just a couple
on
of assholes
on the
talking,
bow of the
yeah.
boat.
They're like, why aren't they fishing?
What are
The
these
fuck they
guys doing? This is pretty cool. But anyways,
But yeah, so Jules was around, and she was a temporary / permanent. I mean, she was there as long as we needed her, and she was nothing but the best. And I wish her nothing but. I mean, the girl is just absolutely amazing.
she's killing it. Still playing with Ronnie Lee, right?
Playing
Legend
with Ronnie Lee,
yeah.
she's an absolute legend. Yeah, and then I met Will Lopez
And Fair Play.
and she has her own project, and I actually drummed for them for a little bit to help them out. It's just been a really cool, like, we really scratch each other's back.
You're
We
pretty
really help each
involved.
other.
I have to say, you're
Yeah.
one of the more involved drummers for sure, but in general, musicians in San Diego. I mean, you seem to
Yeah.
know everyone. You seem to know a lot of bands.
Yeah,
And a lot of bands
yeah.
are attracted to you guys, and especially in that punk rock sort of genre.
Totally, yeah. And Fair Play was cool because it was kind of a step away, because they are more, I would say, like rock, alternative rock. At least they were with the music I was playing with them. And that was kind of a nice break from the rough being a little bit more poppy punk kind of polished. It was great, man.
That's right. You did play for them. How long was that?
Yeah, it wasn't very long. It was
6 months?
it was like months. Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was kind of like I would have done it anyway. But I definitely there was an obligation there where I was like, dude, and Will, Jules and Will both played with the rough and held us over through shows that we wouldn't have necessarily played unless we had them. I mean, fucking Will traveled up to I think it was like Orange County or something with us, and he played bass on a show one night, and he did backup vocals, and he was amazing. Will's another just fucking mind-blowing musician in this town.
So good.
He's just
He was just under the Palapa with the Naked Eyes.
I saw
Jim
him.
with the Naked Eye.
Those guys aren't slowing down. They're fucking
No, they're going.
They're solid as a rock.
I think the next thing we have to bring it to is your hand.
I broke my hand.
That was sort of a milestone,
Yeah.
right? And
And
I
I'll
remember I was right there with you during that whole thing.
Yeah.
We had been working out together and going to the gym and stuff and friends.
Yeah, that was a
So-
shitty time for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking about it. I had too much
I
to
don't
drink.
care if you fucking don't. We're
Hey,
going
look.
to talk about it now.
Well, no,
You don't have to get specific, but just, in general, you broke your hand.
Leave
It was a
I
setback.
had a drink and I broke my hand. So you guys use your imagination there.
And Corey was involved,
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
So
Yeah, so you busted your hand as a drummer. That sets things back
definitely
a bit.
set some stuff back.
And I know you were that was a tough time for you guys.
The beautiful thing about that, it was very tough mentally. It was very straining on me, and I felt very responsible for a lot of things at that time. But
And I think that
We
was kind
powered
of the
through.
end of Jules. You had moved on
Jules
or
had taken
whatever.
off.
Right.
Yeah,
Right at
which is
about that same time.
totally fine. There's no bad. Again, like I have nothing against her at all. She's a working musician, and if you can't work, would you stay at a job if they're like, "Hey, I don't have work for you"? You fucking go, right? I mean, it is what it is. It's I don't.
This asshole over here punching walls and shit.
I mean,
Come on. I'm trying to do this as a profession.
And so the nice thing about that in regards to timing was that I had already laid down my drum tracks for the Clean Cut EP
Yeah.
before I
That's
broke my
right.
hand.
Yeah,
I
with
had,
Cisco, with
so
Adam
that,
Cisco,
I
yeah.
got to tell you, that was the only thing that kept me really going in my life. The fact that they were already done.
Right.
And I wasn't
The
holding up.
silver lining of that situation. For
Absolutely.
Sure, right?
I wasn't holding up anything in that time.
So yeah, you made it through that, and then you joined forces, right, with Max and Vaughn. That was shortly
We
after
got
that,
to the
right?
recording, yeah. And
Did they
then
record with you, or that was just
No,
you, Drew,
dude.
and Adam, right? That
Everything
recorded
you
Clean
hear-
Cut.
I'm on the drums, obviously, and then Drew did all the bass, all the guitar, obviously all the vocals and the harmonies. We did some group vocals, where we did some oohs and ahs and some chanting, where we brought in like a lot of you guys and a lot of the local scene to help us with that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's so talented. I mean, Drew's just insane.
dude.
He's doing garage band projects with like Max on the side. I know I did snippets of it
Pick
on the
his
podcast,
brain next
really
time,
one of the more talented dudes I've met in San Diego.
one of the
for sure.
one of the most.
Yeah, we
I'm
gotta-
not joking. Have him
Yeah,
on the
no,
podcast
100%.
one day and,
Yeah.
and don't let him talk about anything other than his hip hop stuff. And you will
It's
shit,
super good.
You will shit a
The
brick.
Council, which you named,
Dude,
I think, right?
I named him in Max's project, The Council.
The Council.
It came out in 2 seconds when he's like, we're trying to find a name.
And
it's-
this has not been. Sorry, I'm distracted a little bit, but
You're good.
We have not talked about this much, but they reached out to me to maybe DJ for them.
Dude,
The
do it.
Council.
Oh, that'd be rad.
know?
That'd be. I didn't
Me,
even think about that.
Max, Drew, me on the turntables or
Dude,
whatever.
that's-
Just
Visually,
and-
it's better too, as opposed to having a sound guy fucking just pushing play.
yeah,
and
I
doing
could
whatever.
even just be back there fucking pretending like I'm DJing.
Hey,
like most
nothing's
DJs do.
plugged in. You're like,
yeah. So, anyways, I mean,
Max
I
and
think
Vaughn.
the gist to get it back into present time was that, you had been through a lot, the rough, a lot of swells and ups and downs, and you really were kind of firing on all cylinders. You got signed to No Pants Records.
We did, yeah.
Up and based out of Oregon, right?
Correct, yeah.
I've talked with those
By
guys a
Matt,
little
they're
bit.
great
Yeah.
people, man. They're fucking so supportive. and
Constant. They never put their pants on.
Yeah.
Cool dudes.
Yeah,
Kind of chill guys, huh? I've gotten
very
to like.
cool guys,
I
dude.
followed their social media a little bit.
Yeah.
They're
No, they're clowns, but they do it in the best way possible, and that's why I got to tell you, like right out of the gate, I was like, okay, cool, like people that aren't overly serious. That's what I want. I don't want this to
More
be
chill.
some weird like.
They're not.
Fucking,
They're not suits.
These guys are not at all. These guys are fucking me and you, just
Right.
doing it up there.
Right.
You know, which I was like instantly drawn to. Drew's like, "What do you think about these guys?" And it was like 10 seconds. I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking sold, dude.
You heard the name.
Yeah, I was
yes,
like, yeah.
bro.
Took my pants
No
off
pants.
and
So you
signed
got-
on the dotted
You
line.
got signed to an indie, I guess you call it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Indie
they're a smaller
and
label, but it was a great step for us, and we were honored, man. We were honored that
You had your
happened.
full band. You had Max and Vaughn added of Avenue Army. So you had your lineup. You had your EP release, which was amazing.
We had gone on the road a couple times.
Your best show I've ever seen with any
Thank you.
band, bro.
It was
100%.
great.
It was.
It was
it was
great.
rad.
It was awesome, man. I
Everyone
think about
was singing along at the
Yeah.
end at the Moreau and with Go, and it was a really good show. You guys sounded great. You had your hiccups with the rough, with
Yeah.
live performances, as we all do.
It
I
happens,
have,
man. Fucking
and we've had
shit
that
happens.
discussion about you're a perfectionist. You
Yeah,
like
I am.
your kit's always fucking up to above standards.
Sure.
And you wanted to really step it up, and I feel like you got there with that Moreau performance. I did anyways from an outsider perspective.
No, I feel fucking really. I mean, I'm my own worst critic. Like a lot of musicians are, a lot of professionals in any career or anything are. But no, man, the rough has been like no regrets at all. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and like looking back, even like we went on
Holy
the road
shit.
a couple times and. You're good. Troy's
Yeah,
not
you
a boat
did.
person, so he shits himself when a swell comes by. I'll take him out to the 7-foot swells next episode, and we'll have him.
I got to bring us into present time here
Yeah.
every once in a while. We're
Let me
on
grab a beer really
the
quick.
bow of
Okay,
a boat, and we'll grab a beer. It's this is rad. We're in the middle of the Mission Bay, so right behind me here to my west is SeaWorld, and again right here is Fiesta, and we're chilling. But I guess what I'm kind of getting at is obviously recently you made the decision to sort of move on and eventually you decided to leave the rough.
I
You
did.
posted about it. We've talked about it on the podcast. What's up? What?
I would
Why?
say I feel like it was probably maybe January of 2020,
Okay, right before COVID.
before COVID.
About a year ago.
About a year ago, yeah.
Would have been your EP release right around that time.
Yeah, it was actually, we were starting to like develop new music, obviously, because we had like taken so much time like getting the recording done and then the band member changes and all this shit. I remember having these feelings in January just regarding like my overall like just like my overall like effort as far as like putting in the time to really like develop myself as the drummer that I knew that the rough needed. Like I hate to say it, but I felt myself coming to practice kind of dragging my feet a little bit, like, and it wasn't because I was choosing to feel that way. I don't know if it was all this anticipation like pre-release and then it happened and it was just like you kind of blow your load and then you're just kind of like,
Right.
I don't know, maybe looking back it's hard to pinpoint
It
it,
can
but
be discouraging, huh? I do want to touch on that real quick. Just being a
Totally.
local musician,
Absolutely.
creating an EP is like having a baby.
Totally.
It's the most creative process on the
should
planet.
we release it yet?
One
Does it
of
need
you
more?
know,
Should we do it?
so
Yeah.
much thought goes into it.
Totally.
So many layers, some mixing ideas, this and that.
Right.
And once it's out, it's your baby. And if it doesn't get a ton of attention and streams and this and that, it
Yeah.
can be extremely discouraging as a local musician. And I think that's a common mindset, right?
would
dude?
I
that's-
agree 100%.
And not saying that that's the only reason you left, but it sounds like that's a contributing factor. We have microphones. Check out the rough.
We just had some neighbors on a boat go by, but yeah,
Flipped
and
us off.
it kind of, I don't know, man. Like there was this feeling of like my creative gas tank just wasn't. It just wasn't where I knew it needed to be, and everyone has off practices, right? I mean, you're not always a rock star every time. So I kind of was like, like I said, like early January, mid-January, I was like kind of brushing out of the rug. I'm like, all right, we'll just kind of keep going. We were writing new songs, and these new songs were super dope. And I was like, oh my God, okay, maybe it was like lighting a fire under me. And we were fortunate enough, there's a song called Wanted that
Yeah, I
it'll
heard that.
probably
At the
come out
Row.
on the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we played it at the Casbah too before before COVID and shit. Fucking rad song. But yeah, there's just so I kind of started
You
to
had that,
feel.
and then COVID happened, right? Was
So
that,
the last show was early March, 5th, 7th.
Yeah.
That's a
Kensington, I think, right?
Ken Club. Drew's birthday show.
Okay.
By like the Dangerfield and
Shout out to those guys.
Fucking awesome people. Who else was on that? I don't
Corey's
know.
doing a solo project. I got to shout that out.
I fucking love that guy.
He reached
dude.
out to me. Yeah.
He's another strong, like beating heart of punk rock, like the '90s scene.
He has 3 balls.
He's got 3 testicles. I mean, that's better than the musical part of him. We love you, Corey.
We love
do,
you,
buddy.
dude. Yeah,
he's
the
awesome.
Dangerfield.
So that kind of lingered, and then I was kind of bottling it up. I wasn't saying much. Kind of dealing with some stuff, like personal stuff, as far as like getting to practice. And I just wasn't really seeing like an end in sight. And I like humbly felt like if I couldn't honor the journey, why would I be the anchor? You know, like why would I be the one to go, and try to be like prideful and be like, oh no, I'm just going to stay here because I'm the founding member and I'm going to keep going. And even though I'm not going to give it 100, that's not fair to those guys. And you obviously know Drew and Max and Vaughn. Those guys are fucking, they're
putting their all into it, dude.
They're
Yeah,
so
that was
driven.
a selfless decision on your part, I would have to say, right? Pretty selfless.
Fucking hard, bro.
Right.
Very, very hard. Very hard for sure. So, am I happy about it? No, but there is parts of me that are happy about it, that it's almost like you had like a bird in a cage, like let it fly, dude. Like let it go, and that's kind of what I've learned, and the friendships far outweigh the musical relationships, I mean, Drew, nothing against, I love Max and Vaughn like brothers, but I mean, like Drew is just fuck, dude. The guy I have
You
a
guys
friend.
are brothers. Do you
I have a
think
friend
it's
for
not
life, for
rewarding
sure.
enough to be in a local band?
I don't know that I would say that it's not rewarding enough, because the journey is so exciting, right? I mean, it's like, it's almost like starting like a business from like the ground up. I mean, that's actually what it is. Do people like my product? Like, Troy, let's start like a shoe business. Do people like my shoes? And in a world full of shoe businesses,
Yeah.
and let's build it up. And then you get one person that wants to buy your shoes. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, they could have bought all these other shoes and they fucking
Right.
bought our shoes.
Totally.
And that's how I see the music thing. It's like,
Except you can't buy music anymore. It's free.
you can, but buying metaphorically is just listening. Just
Sure.
listen to my shit and tell me you like it, and that in itself pays fucking the rent, dude.
It's kind of true that, you get that one person that's really into you, and it kind of makes it all worthwhile, huh?
I gotta tell you, bro, like the shows that we played out of town, those are the ones. I mean, the at-home shows are always amazing, right? Because you see you guys, see your friends, and of course your mom and dad are always gonna say you did well, right? The uncle that shows up is always gonna say kick ass, buddy. But when you're playing like a fucking out of town show, and an absolute stranger comes up to you and they're like, dude, that was an amazing set. Give me all your info. I mean, those are the moments where you're like, wow, dude, I like just struck a chord with that person. I don't fucking know him, and he doesn't know me, but our music connected us right there, So those are the things that I'll hold close to me forever. But yeah, I mean, kind of in a nutshell, I just, simply put, I personally was running out of gas, and I know that the rough is only ramping up, and if I can't honor that journey, then it's not fair for them to have to string me along, or me string them along, probably better said, and open up the opportunity for them to get a member that can fulfill the shoes the right way, So it was.
And you got
it
a
was very
lot
tough,
going
though.
on too, right? I mean,
I'm
you're
a business
obviously
owner. I have my own personal life.
You've got some hobbies too outside of
I
music.
got some hobbies, yeah.
Which is, for some people, music is their only thing,
Totally.
Which you're fortunate in that regard. You have other hobbies, you're into the desert. You like going out to the desert, right? Obviously, riding.
We had talked pre mics today, but I had mentioned it. It's almost kind of like a stock portfolio. You got to diversify. You have to have other things, because let's say if you're only into fishing, and then the water becomes poison and you can't fish. Well, now it's like, in my eyes, it's like, well, now I'm out of the fight. I mean, I don't have anything else. So I've always been into like trying to keep myself busy. There's seasons, right? Like there's fishing seasons, and there's dirt bike seasons, and there's snowboarding seasons, and all this shit. So I do feel fortunate that I have other things to lean on. I got to tell you, being a musician is definitely the pinnacle of all these hobbies, for sure. But it's nice to have these things to keep me busy during all this shit.
Is there something that the Rough has planned that you felt you couldn't, that kind of drove you to make that decision? Are they planning on touring quite a bit, or?
We always talked about touring, and when we talked about it at those specific times, I was always very much on board. But I mean, mindsets change, right? I mean, things change, life changes, fucking. And I know a lot of people are going to chalk this up to like a COVID thing, and it's like, did it help? Definitely didn't help. I'll be honest with you. When COVID first hit, I was almost a little thankful because I was like, this pandemic's going to be like 60 days at the most. This is going to be a perfect little refresher. And I'll give me a lot of time to think and kind of center myself and step away and fucking, and obviously it kept going, but regardless of it, I mean, these feelings were brewing pre the fucking world ending, dude.
Yeah,
they absolutely were.
I figured you put a lot of thought into it, and
I did, man,
no
for
regrets,
sure.
buddy. You know.
Yeah,
I think everything will be fine. I know you're all still bros.
Oh no, Drew and I was just with him the other night, like, and you know, before all obviously this and the Facebook stuff post or whatever, we went out
and your
to,
statement. I felt like Diane Sawyer, dude. It was amazing.
I was trying to do that.
The Diane Sawyer of San Diego. Yeah. Pretty soon.
Yeah, we're
Lyrics
wrapping
get
it up.
Nancy.
Uncle Darren likes to blab when he has 2 beers. So.
No, this is something we've been talking about for a while, and again, you know a lot of people here in the San Diego music scene,
For
so
sure.
we thought we'd kind of check in with you and
I appreciate it so much.
enjoy the Bay. But I did have a rapid fire thing. You want to run through it real quick?
Give it a shot.
Is there anything else you want to touch on? Do you feel like you?
Not really, man. No, I absolutely love the music scene, and my love for it will never diminish. It's not going away. I mean, me as an active drummer, I don't know that you'll see me again as far as like being on stage, but
Crazy.
Yeah.
I have to say it's so crazy. I figured, you know, you put a lot of money into your kit and you really perfected it, and you just bought a $5,000 snare? Or
not quite that much,
$1,000.
Yeah.
You know, a really custom
pretty
snare.
close
We
to
don't
that,
have to get into the details,
Yeah.
but you spent a lot of money. You have a fucking amazing kit. Are you gonna sell it?
You know what's funny about that snare drum is I haven't even hit it yet. And I can't bring myself to fucking hit it.
Oh, is that right?
And it's a full, like, custom DW, solid shell, fucking the thing's out of control.
Well, you know what's funny is when you got that, I think you were texting me and you mentioned, you know, hey, if I don't use it, maybe my future son or daughter can, or something like that. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, all right.
Wait a minute.
He's got some other thoughts going on.
Yeah, it very well could have been in my head at that time.
So probably won't see you on the stage here in San Diego again, huh? If the Rough had a show, if everything opened up in May, would you?
Well, I got to tell you this. Even on
I
like,
hate to even put you on the spot
no,
like that, but
dude, I'm here, bro.
Yeah.
On like a brother level and a friendship level,
needed you,
if you fell overboard, I'd pick you up.
right, yeah.
You know, if Drew is like, dude, we have a show,
Boat
we don't have a drummer.
analogies. Yeah.
Well, it just is what it is. I mean, I wouldn't look at it like, oh, I'm a musician again. I'd say Drew needs my help to perform a task. I can do that task. You know, let me fucking help him out. With that being said, I think the best way to put it is I don't have any plans to do it again, but I'm not selling my drum set.
You're gonna hang on to that?
Absolutely.
What kind of kits you have? DW?
It's a DW collector series.
Cool.
Yeah, but you talk to any,
You'll hang on to that, huh? Until the
absolutely.
day you die?
You talk to any drummer, selling a drum kit's bad luck, bro. I have my first kit from when I was 14.
That's rad.
Up in the rafters at my house. Yeah, no,
I
I'll
swear
never sell
to
it.
that's rad. I Google still my first guitar because I regret fucking selling it, dude.
Might find it,
you know?
you never know.
Yeah, I do. I check out Craigslist.
No, I'm gonna hold on to it, and you know, and I'll be at shows, bro. I mean, when this thing opens back up, you know, I mean, I'm doing what I can right now to get by with this kind of thing and whatever, but you know, to be at a show, to come to like a Ready show and be like watching you guys perform and watching Infinites.
You'll still go to shows?
Dude, absolutely.
I'm holding you to that, bro.
I miss that. I miss that more than fucking performing.
Yeah,
I
you know,
love, dude. I swear to God.
I kind of do too.
I love
loading
watching my
in
friends,
sucks,
dude.
bro.
Yeah.
Loading in, loading out. I don't know.
I'm tired.
I'm over it.
I'm tired of dropping drumsticks and having
Hey,
Mitch
and
laugh at me.
And I only sing. No.
Yeah.
Well, cool, buddy. Nothing but love to you, dude. And on behalf
you too,
of,
man.
you know, the
No,
Rough and the
thank you
guys,
so
we
much.
had them on, and the San Diego music scene. We love you, dude.
Love you too,
We
buddy.
support what you're doing. Rapid fire real quick, and then Lyric, our 7-year-old, is ready to
Bomb this thing.
bomb
Yeah,
this.
let's
You want to say
bomb
hi?
Hi.
Say hi, hurry up. Person you hated the most in the local scene.
Rapid fire.
Just kidding. Do you want to shout out like somebody that really supported you in the local scene? I know we have, but
Dude.
maybe someone you haven't mentioned.
I mean, it's gonna
Or just in general as a drummer, mom, dad.
I mean, dude, it's endless.
All right,
I mean,
let's not drag this on.
No, and it would honestly drag on. Well, there's just like, I mean, we talk about the music scene all the time. It's like, it's
Everyone.
the list goes
All right.
on, bro. I mean, the bands, yeah, everyone, family for sure.
What's the best show looking back?
Definitely the CD release.
Really? Of any? Skipjack, Bankers Hill, CD release? That's cool. You dropped the mic. I mean, if
Yeah.
that's the case.
I would say
It's
so.
probably the best show I've honestly seen you perform at.
Well, my friends are so rad that they felt like fans, and that was cool. You know, that was cool. So for sure, yeah.
Venue you'll miss the most?
Probably the Moreau.
Something you learned from 2020?
Life's a garden, dig it.
Ayo. I like that. That's good. Dream location to bring this boat. Is there somewhere on the planet that you would just...
To take it?
Yeah.
We're fucking here, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
San Diego.
honestly, like we're on the bay right now, and you can see how beautiful it is. But I do a lot of like offshore fishing, and pretty much the entire coast between Baja and San Diego is we have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you bring this thing out to the ocean.
Yeah, I'll go
70 miles off, you said?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, no problem. Yep.
Crazy.
Yep. Tuna fishing,
Hey, I'll pass.
yellowtail.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No,
That's rad.
I'm dragging you out there when the season
We'll have to go.
rolls back out for sure.
Dude, I'll definitely go. Boat, bet on another 1,000. Is that true? That acronym?
It's bust out another 1,000.
Is it
and that-
an expensive hobby?
It can be. I would definitely
Repairs,
see.
right.
Yeah, the key to a boat, I would say, is preventative maintenance for sure. Like doing your stuff
Flushing it,
ahead
yeah.
of time, keeping it flush, doing your you have like 100-hour service on the motor, keeping an eye on everything before ship breaks. That's the best way.
Shout out a local band. Someone from San Diego.
Infinite Signal.
Yeah. Shout out Infinite.
Yeah.
Who moved on. They're listening from Colorado,
Yeah,
hopefully. We love them.
Another just trio that's just mind-blowingly sick and fucking just great.
You guys, that was a boom boom combo. Infinite calling it, Sader calling it. Fucking guys.
Great people. I love.
I'm about to
I love
fucking
them.
cancel Palapalooza. Think about that.
Don't.
Boom. What's a dream venue that you never played? Anywhere.
Damn, that's hard. A dream.
Is there
venue.
anywhere that you really kind of itched? I know Casbah, you
Casbah
checked
was
that
cool
box,
here.
right?
You know, you got the big like celebrity names up in LA. You got like the Whiskey and the Roxy and all that shit. I never had played any. Maybe one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunset.
Yeah.
Advice for a 15-year-old drummer.
Stay dedicated. If you truly want it, you have to stay dedicated, and you have to keep it in your crosshairs the entire time. The second you kick your feet up, it'll probably run away from you.
Good advice. Favorite song to play on drums? Or something you're really proud of, or maybe a fill, or something that you wrote on drums.
God,
Is there a song that you really love that you want to shout out?
I mean,
all of them.
the recent EP that we dropped, I'm super proud of. I always liked playing Thorns because,
Good one.
yeah, because we had all you guys in for the group vocals on that, and I felt like that kind of stamped in a lot of people's minds the way that the lyrics went. So anytime we'd play that live at home, it was always just this huge, powerful, feeling at that time. So probably I would say Thorns is probably like my favorite. Yeah,
I like Thorns.
yeah, it's a great
I'd
song.
say from the EP Thorns and Go.
Yeah, that's
Just
another
great
like
melodies,
classic
great
Drew.
lyrics,
Yeah,
dude.
Drew
Like,
and his fucking like
Jesus.
perfectly awesome choruses.
Stop it.
Yeah, I fucking hate
I
him.
could cry.
Yeah,
to
he's-
go, especially after the year we've had.
Oh, it's a
It really-
soundtrack. No, it's
it
a
really
soundtrack
hits
of the
home.
year. No,
Yeah.
Drew's fucking he's something
Coming
else.
to Bambi 2.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, yeah. And then you got Leordi in the back doing his like kick-ass production, his like fucking horns and like xylophone and God knows what else. I mean, it's the timpani's like roaring in on the choruses, and
We've got to shout out, Mike
yeah.
Leordi. He's tall. He's from Canada.
yeah.
He's State of My Art podcast. Check out Mike Leordi and
Mike's a-
Rosedale
he's a
and
good dude.
Mainsail. All those guys, right?
I miss those guys. Yeah,
Such
they're great.
intimidating talent we have here in San Diego.
Everywhere.
Just keeping it, just stepping up the bar.
You think
you
you're
know?
good at you think you're good at what you do until you watch your buddy's band and you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
You're like, okay. Clocking
Regrets, dude? You at peace with all your
up.
decisions?
I feel good.
Good.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. life's not perfect, dude. I mean,
Right.
what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
A lot of dumb shit. I mean, we've all done dumb shit in our lives. I mean, regrets, no, but lessons for sure.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. The good has to outweigh the bad, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, deep thoughts with
Yeah.
Troy Cook.
Oh, unreal.
New Year's resolution. We just got into 2021. Thank God 2020 is over, for what it's worth. But any goals for this year?
Dude,
for your business or for anything?
It's super cookie cutter, but I gotta get back to the gym, dude.
Right, I know we've been talking about that. Yeah.
I definitely put on a couple.
You put on the COVID-19.
Dude, fucking, I was doing really well. We both were. We were like pushing each other
know.
and like we were looking good, dude. And it's.
In the back of my mind, I always think, I'll do it. When you've done it before, you know that you can.
No problem.
It's work.
I could
it's
do
fucking hard,
probably-
dude.
No,
I
it is.
understand people being obese.
Right.
This shit it's easy.
Easy to eat
it's
like
easy
shit.
to eat unhealthy and
drink
to tie it
be
into COVID.
fucking lazy.
Never mind. I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about COVID. But yeah, it's easy to be lazy. It's easy to grab the bottle of alcohol and drain your sorrows over
Happens
pushing
often.
through it. Pushing
Yeah.
through it. It's easier. What is it? The road less traveled.
Absolutely.
Words.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I
so-
actually have
so the gym-
I have a trip to Zion planned mid-March to
Wow,
like
the park,
hike
right?
and like
Yeah.
there's this hike. I urge you to YouTube this immediately and shit your pants. It's called Angel's Landing, and it's like 2,500 feet or some shit in the air, and there's parts of the trail that are no wider than like a sidewalk.
I've seen that.
And there's no chains. I mean, there's chains, but there's certain parts
Right.
where it's literally a sidewalk, and then it's 2,000 feet on each side. And I'm gonna do that.
You might want to hit like
in
cows
case
a
I
few
do-
times,
yeah.
bro, before that.
Yeah, no. To be honest, the cardio I feel okay with, but the overall just
that's
experience of the
sketch.
height.
Right.
Yeah. So I do
I've seen
wanna
that
say-
one. I do know what you're talking about, Zion. So you'd like to make it out there this year?
No, it's booked. I'm going with
Oh,
a
is
couple
it?
buddies.
What
Yeah,
month is
and
that?
mid-March.
Rad.
Yeah, and I want to.
cool.
Yeah, I'll put Drew in my will for my drum set in case I fucking.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
This will
Yeah.
be like stamped in time, so you can have that in case I fucking.
Yeah.
In case I'm falling to my death at 2,000 feet, but I'm hoping that's gonna kind of kick off my like cardio and
Yeah.
try to get back going again.
I want to travel more for sure. I'd like to get I've been looking into vans, like a travel van.
Dude, they're sick.
Have you seen what Tom Green's been doing?
I haven't seen his van, but I heard him on Rogan, and I saw that
Yeah.
he's doing that.
He's doing a
Like,
podcast
yeah.
out of his van. That's kind of the dream.
It's fucking awesome.
That's
dude.
kind of like in the back of my mind, like an itch that I'll have to scratch eventually,
The
And this
cool
is kind of
thing-
there. This is a good stepping stone.
Oh,
We're on a
for
boat
sure.
here in San Diego. I mean, no complaints. This is pretty dope,
wild.
dude.
It's like floating around, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be this kind of the Palapa just lost some value.
I know.
You
right?
know?
You're like, damn it.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, can we use the boat again for the next episode? Dude, we can. I don't care. You know what I really always wanted to do, but of course I fucked that up by leaving the band. But having the guys out here and doing the acoustic sesh right here with like little bongos
That'd
and
be
shit.
sick.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we can figure something out there.
Yeah, if you listen to this on all platforms, check it out on YouTube, Palapalooza Unplugged. I thought of a quote. My wife is really into mainsails. She rocks them out more than my own band.
Great band.
Let truth be my anchor. Let hope calm.
Oh, unreal.
Edit.
I'm not editing this. Okay. Let truth be my anchor. Let hope calm my storm. And let love be the light that takes the sinking ship and points it home. Oh, yeah. Nick Lenari.
We love you, Nick. That was
Mainsail.
beautiful.
Love you, brother.
Love you, Troy. Thank you so much, man. I'm glad. And we can do this anytime with or without the mics, dude. So
Yeah.
anytime you want to come out
I
here
will.
and bring the family, we can totally do this.
I'll
for
truly
sure.
take you up on it.
Let's do it.
I don't have to buy one.
No,
you know?
you really don't.
Same with my brother. He's
Yeah.
got the RV. He's got the camper. I don't have to buy one.
You're, you're in a great position, dude. You're good to go.
Darren Sader, local
Thank
drummer,
you, Troy. Thank you so much.
boater.
Appreciate you.
What do you
Thank
call this? A captain?
That's very. I feel honored to be called a captain.
You're the man,
but yeah,
dude. I love
thanks.
you, dude.
Thank
Nothing
brother.
but love
Thanks,
and
Troy.
really nice to catch up. Beautiful winter day here in San Diego. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Shout out The Rough. Check out The Rough. Check out all the local bands that we shouted out. Infinite
Absolutely.
Signal, Mainsail, Montel Jordans. We were rocking Hard to Hit on the boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully they come back around.
Yeah.
Fucking guys were rad.
Nothing but love. Darren Sader.
Love you guys. Thank
yeah.
you.
Let truth be my anchor, let hope calm my storm, and your love be the light that takes a sinking ship and points it home. Let truth be be my